Today brings us another updated datasheet, and it's time for the Sons of Fenris to get a look in with the updated stats. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the strategy focused 40k channel, where we've been taking a look at the news and rumours and the updated datasheets around the Space Marine and Necron releases. It seems that Games Workshop are continuing with their trend of repackaging units that are going alongside their new codexes. Space Wolves are known to be one of the next codexes to come out after Space Marines and Necrons, and now it appears that someone's been shipped a new copy of the Space Wolves Dreadnought kit, and it includes a few little nice changes to the datasheets. As always with these previews, they aren't full datasheets, but they do give us a few more hints as to the stat lines of the models when they come out in their new codex. So this one kit actually gives us a fair bit of information, as it actually builds 4 different units: the Space Wolves Venerable Dreadnought, Bjorn the Fell-Handed, Murderfang, and the Wolfen Dreadnought. The main highlights are 2 massive damage increases to the Fenrisian Great Axe and the Hellfrost Cannon, a couple of minor nerfs to the character stat lines, and Heavy Flamers being updated with their new longer range. First up we have the Fenrisian Great Axe, which is a fairly popular way to equip the Space Wolf Dreadnoughts for combat, as it can also give you an invul save with that Blizzard Shield. The axe is really quite versatile in close combat. You can either go for a cleave attack, which is high strength for dealing with vehicles and monsters, or a sweep attack, which has better effect against infantry as it gives you more attacks. That scythe attack is unchanged, but the cleave attack seems to be massively buffed. Instead of being damage d6, it's now damage d3 plus 3. That's really a whopping damage increase. You won't need many hits to down most vehicles with this. It's going from an average of a very random 3.5 wounds on an enemy vehicle for each hit through, to an average of 5 with far less swing. It could be particularly useful for downing things with 3 or 4 wounds, such as Gravis Armoured Space Marines, Terminators or Centurions. Overall a very nice buff. Just in terms of mean damage output, you get around about 11 or 12 wounds on a standard toughness 7 or toughness 8 vehicle out of this thing, and that's if you're not even in the Space Wolves combat doctrine. Obviously it can be quite swingy as to whether or not you actually get those wounds through, but could be potentially a very good use of a command point, say to re-roll a hit or wound roll. Overall it looks very solid to me. Next we have a change to the Hellfrost Cannon, which to be honest I think is needed. Outside of the Stormfang gunship, with its new stratagem from Saga of the Beast, Hellfrost weapons have been a bit underwhelming, and it's quite nice to see Games Workshop really buffing up one of the faction's unique weapons. The Hellfrost Cannon's range has increased from 24 inches to 36, and again from the single shot version of the weapon, rather than having damage d6 as it had previously, it's damage d3 plus 3. Maybe a little bit less reliable to get wounds off, particularly against toughness 8 vehicles as it's only strength 8. But every shot that you punch through is going to have a really massive effect. Personally, what I'd like to see more is Games Workshop fix their Hellfrost special rule, which is really underwhelming at the moment and doesn't have any real effect in game. Basically you need to get a wound through with the Hellfrost, and you need to roll a d6, and only on a roll of a 6 does the target suffer an additional mortal wound. It just comes up very, very rarely. I think they could increase that to be something like a 4+ or even a 2+, and it'd still be absolutely fine. When firing Hellfrost cannons, it is going to make you want to fire their focus beam a lot more than their disperse beam at the moment though. Still, just having heavy D3 with strength 6, AP -2 and 1 damage is going to be really underwhelming. I think only ever worth bothering with if you're firing against really light infantry and you literally have no other targets for that main cannon. Finally, for the main changes, there's a couple of slight character nerfs I'm afraid. Bjorn the Fell-Handed isn't going to be quite as fast as before. They appear to have reduced his movement down from 8 inches to 6 inches, bringing him in line with most Dreadnoughts. Honestly, I can see why they did this. Murderfang and the Wolfen Dreadnought do have 8-inch movement, but I think that more reflects that they're sort of half-crazed death machines that just charge straight towards the enemy, where Bjorn is more of a normal Dreadnought, so I'm not sure he necessarily needs a greater move characteristic. In game though, it is quite an unfortunate nerf for him. Having that extra movement was really helpful for getting True Claw in close combat. Bjorn can hit incredibly hard. He might also cover another bit of a nerf in 9th edition, seeing as his own aura is unlikely to apply to himself anymore due to the core unit changes, so he might not be quite as dangerous in close combat when he gets there. Finally, Murderfang has had his ballistic skill dropped from 3+ to 5+, again kind of bringing him in line with the Wolfen Dreadnought. It's really not quite the biggest deal in my opinion, seeing as all he can fire is a Stormbolter anyway. He has lost a tiny bit of shooting, but really what you take him for is the mighty combat prowess, and he has gained the extra range on his flamer, so it's a bit of take and leave anyway. So potentially a better reason to fear some of the unique kit of the Space Wolves. It'll be interesting to see the fate of the Stormfang and Stormwolf gunships after the changes have been applied. At an average damage of 5 for each of those Hellfrost attacks, they could well be worth having another look at. I'll admit though, the Stormfang is very good for its points in 9th edition at the moment. So let me know what you think of the changes. I always look forward to having a read of the comments down below. Feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you've enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to help support the channel, I'd just like to mention that I have a Patreon page down in the video description below. If you'd like to help keep these videos coming, then that's the primary way that I can do so. There's also a bunch of rewards for Patreons on there, such as being able to see certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things come next on the channel, and automatic entry into the Auspex Tactics prize giveaway. If any of that sounds good, or you'd just like to help support, the link is down in the video description. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.